Hey everyone, today I'll be taking a look at the Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy Dinobot. First, of course, taking a look at the packaging. As you can see, there's an open window that shows about half the figure, and that's for reducing on plastic usage, which I think is nice. You got some nice artwork here of Dinobot in his Robo mode and his Beast mode. You got Dinobot text up there, Transformers text, Kingdom text right there. It says it's Voyager class. On this side right here, you got some nice artwork right there. On the other side, you got the same artwork, the same artwork I already talked about. On the back, you got some product shots of him in his Robo mode and his Beast mode, and it says he transforms in 28 steps. And on the bottom right here, you just got some warnings and stuff. And then on the top, you got a Predacon logo, which he was only a Predacon in like the first episode. So, literally, he was a Predacon for like 5 seconds. I wish they just put a Maximal logo over there. But anyway, that's it for the packaging. So for accessories, Dinobot comes with his spinning shield and his sword. You see the sword is just has some purple right here and then some bronze. And then just the shield right here. This can plug in right here. And also you can fold that up. And it can store on the back. And as you saw in the intro, he was holding this stuff, accessories. Just get this open. And then he also comes with a card, and this time I got Megatron. And it's a more Earth mode for Megatron right here. And then opening it up, you got a more Cybertronian Gladiator mode for Megatron. There. That is it for the accessories. First, you have to measure how tall Dinobot is, and he stands at almost 7 inches, but at about 6.5. Oh shit. I did not mean to knock him over like that. Ugh. He stands at about 6.5 inches tall. And that's a nice size for this guy. He's a Voyager class, but he feels a bit small for a Voyager class. If we first talk about the figure looks really nice. It's a very striking figure. It's a more modern take for Dinobot. It's not as animation accurate as the cartoon. It's supposed to be accurate to the Kingdom show coming up. But it's a cool design for Dinobot, and the paint work is done nicely. I don't see any paint mishaps or anything at all. The paint is done nicely here. The backpack is a bit too big, but you're paying $30 for this figure. You can't get everything, right? So the backpack is a bit big, but it's okay for its price point. I just kind of wish there was a bit more paint on this figure, but it's fun. The texturing is done nicely on this guy. The proportions, I think, are a bit weird for at least the arms, because the shoulders are too small for this guy. I feel like they should have been a bit bigger, and the arm should have been, and the bicep should have been like bigger as well. So the proportions are a bit weird. The arms are just too skinny and the shoulders are too small. So I think the proportions on this guy is a little bit wonky, at least for the arms. But the chest is done nicely over here. The way they did this is I like the way they did this chest area, because this in the middle right here is the real dinosaur head for the Beast mode, but these two panels over here cover up the sides of it, so you don't see most of the head, which I think is I think it's a genius feature. I just like that feature right there. For the head sculpt looks nice as well. So overall, for the aesthetics of the guy, is pretty good. Now I guess go look at the size comparisons. I think he scales pretty well next to all the other Beast Wars figures right here. And if we just throw in Warpath, there you go. He scales in nicely for deluxes. But for Voyager scaling, let's just put a couple Voyagers over here. If we get Starscream and Megatron. Over here, he scales nicely, and then just put Prime in the mix. Prime is a little bit taller than him. There, Prime is just a little bit taller. But for Voyager, he scales nicely with the Voyagers. So that is it for size comparisons. Now we have to go through the articulation segment. And up here at the head, there is a ball joint that allows him to look up that far, to look down that far. You do get some nice head tilt over here, and can rotate around 360. There is a hinge right here at the arm. I wish that that was done in the same color as this, so it will look a lot nicer. But it can hinge up about that far. But if you use the hinge right here, it can go up very far. There is a bicep rotation, 90-degree bend there at the elbow. A wrist rotation, the wrist can go out and in. There is a hinge at both of his fingers. There is a waist rotation. Leg can kick up about that far and kick back that far. Can go out that far. This thigh rotation is very tight on my copy, but I heated it up a bit and it got a bit looser. But on this side, I cannot move at all. No matter how much I try to move it, I just can't move it. So I don't know what the issue of that is. I guess it's just a really tight joint. I'm gonna heat that one up and see if I can move it around and stuff. But this one was very tight out the box, and I heated it up and it was fun, and I got it to move a bit. This one is just very tight. So there's a thigh rotation right there. A bend at the knee goes a bit past 90 degrees. Beautiful ankle pivot. Ankle can hinge up and down. And there is a bend at the heel. So overall, for articulation, this is pretty posable guy right here. So that is it for the articulation segment. I am such an idiot. I forgot to compare him next to Masterpiece Jazz. And also, I just wanted to say something. These mainline figures are, I noticed they're very solid. This guy does not move at all. When it comes to Masterpiece figures that I see now, a lot of them have issues, like the $500 or $450 Masterpiece Optimus Prime has a knee issue, and not even my Jazz has problems. Right here, the knee joint hella loose, the hip joint over here very loose, arm, shoulder right here very loose. Still stands, but even my Jazz has a problem. So that's unfortunate. But what I noticed that these figures are very solid. So yeah, we'll be asked to get into transformation. First, what we want to do is just hinge this arm up right here, and then hinge out the hands, and then rotate that around like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Just hinge those out right there, and then rotate around. And then what we want to do is just hinge these up like so. You want to have the feet where the front foot is facing backwards. Let me just angle this up more. So you can see that. And then what we want to do is come over here, untab these from that, untab the hands like so, and then you want to hinge this up, and then this rotate around, and then should tab into there. And you want to do the same thing on the other side, but it just doesn't tab into that as securely, and I'll talk more about that in the beast mode. And then you want to hinge that down like so. And then right here, you want to untab that. It's just these two tabs go into this slot and then that slot right there. And then pull, and that in turn will untab this from the head. And see what I'm saying about that? Covers that. Is very ingenious feature. I mean, engineering right there. You want to try to push the head into here, and then angle this, hinge this forward to where that slot will have that tab go into it, like so. And then as you can see, the dinosaur mode is shaping up. Just hinge out the arms so you can get some clearance to rotate this around, like so. Hinge up the head, and then there is a spring-loaded neck right here. So when you do hinge this down, like so, it actually pushes that back so you can get the head to be fully flat. I like that as well. Then for the legs, just hinge that forward right there. Untab this, fold that in like so. Then you want to do the same thing on the other side. I like the transformation on this guy. It's very fun to do. And then just push those together like that. And then this slot over here will go into this tab. And then these tabs, if you can see that, will go into these slots right there. Just get that to go in. Oh, and then these, that will focus, these tabs will go into these tiny slots right here, like so. The same thing on the other side. And on my copy, this kind of pops itself out, as you can see right there. Kind of pops itself out. I don't know if that's gonna break eventually over time. I hope not. I'm trying to keep it together as I tab the stuff in. I'm trying to keep it tabbed in, but it seems like it won't do it. So hopefully that does not break over time. Then you want to fold these down and then angle them however you want to. Rotate down the hands and untab it like so. And now he's doing the Wendy Williams "How you doing" pose. And then if we get the accessories, just untab this, that plugs in, tab that back in, and then that plugs in right there. Then you have Dinobot in his Dino mode. And here we have Dinobot in his Dino mode, and this is a pretty good Dino mode. This is a pretty good Dino mode for me. Just stop that right there. And if we take a look at the details of this Dino mode, it is a nice Dino mode in my opinion. Of course, people are gonna complain about all the kibble, but honestly, why do people keep complaining about kibble on mainline figures? Well, kibble like this on beast modes and underside of Starscream's jet mode. There's always gonna be kibble on a beast mode and on Starscream's jet mode. Is not really a complaint anymore. But on my copy, this thing does not want to tab in at all. It doesn't want to lock in at all, but it's fine. It's fine on this side. But other than that, it is a nice Dino mode. The head sculpt is nice. Just zoom in here. It is a nice head sculpt. I like all the texturing and all the paint work that goes along the figure. It is really nicely done. The only thing that I don't like about this is just that there's no front teeth. It also looks weirder when you open it, because it looks disgusting. You should have put front teeth here and on the bottom. There is a red tongue paint in there though. But they should have put red. They should have put, not red, they should have put some front teeth in there. And also the teeth are painted white. That's really my only major complaint, that they didn't put teeth there. But the Dinobot still looks good, and also it's funny, out of everything here, this is the only thing that bothers me, just the purple tip of the tail. But that's really for the Dino mode. Let's get into some size comparisons. And here's some size comparisons to Dinobot. Let me just straighten out Black Arachnia's legs, because that bothers me. And here's some size comparisons. I think he scales well with these guys, at least in premise of the Beast Wars show. But as you see, I told you about the kibble and stuff, but Cheetor basically doesn't have any kibble. So he's the only Beast Wars that really doesn't. Bless me. He's the only Beast Wars figure that doesn't really have any kibble. But if we bring in Warpath as well, there you go. And of course, I forgot. Let me just move these guys out the way. Here's Masterpiece Jazz. I'm really forgetting to compare him back to Masterpiece Jazz today, ain't I? And I also forget in the studio series Bumblebee movie Starscream review. I think I might have. But now talking about the articulation. The head is on a hinge, so it can go down all the way, but then you get weird gaps and it looks weird. It looks better right there. The mouth can open, as I previously mentioned, about that far, which he still has some teeth right there in the front. The arms is on a hinge and can rotate around 360. It's on a hinge at the elbow and ball joint at the hand. It kind of looks like he's doing the Wendy Williams "How You Doing" pose, if anyone knows what that is. The "How You Doing" thing. There is a hinge right here at the knee, rotation at the ankle, forward and back at the ankle, hinge at the toes, and that is basically it for. Oh, well, also you can use the bicep rotation in the robot mode as a rotation right here. But that is basically it for the articulation on this guy. So overall, nice beast mode. Let's get him back into his robot mode and give him a score. So overall, this is a pretty good Dinobot. I mean, the articulation is nice, details, the paintwork is done cleanly. The Dino mode, the paintwork on that is done cleanly. The kibble on it, I don't really mind it at all, because beast modes are always going to have kibble on it. That's just a given. And also Starscream figures, so everyone should just stop complaining about it. I guess the only issue I have with this robot mode is just the back of them. If it just wrote, yeah, the back right here. That's really the only thing that is wrong with this figure. And also maybe the tight joint, but I can just loosen it up, some other time. But the accessories are fine. What else would Dinobot come with? So overall, I think I'm going to give this figure a solid 9 out of 10. Anyway, that's it for this review. I see you next time. Bye.